Some spirits rule through terror, others through wisdom. But Valefar? He operates in the shadows between honor and betrayal, between trust and trickery. His name is not associated with destruction or mindless chaos. Instead, it is whispered by those who walk outside the laws of men, the thieves, the strategists, the ones who know that power is not just about force, but about knowing when to take and when to vanish. Valefar is a Duke of Hell, commanding 10 legions of spirits, yet his presence is not one of brute strength. He is a patron of thieves, rogues, and those who seek the art of persuasion. But unlike demons of wrath or corruption, Valefar does not force his followers into ruin. He offers them skill, opportunity, and alliances. Those who invoke him often feel his influence in the form of quick thinking, an uncanny ability to gain trust, or the sense of knowing exactly when to act and when to wait. But Valefar is a paradox. He teaches loyalty, yet is often associated with betrayal. He grants success, but warns that every risk carries a consequence. Medieval texts describe him as a figure of great honor among those who follow him, but they also issue a cryptic warning, till they are caught in the trap. Some take this as an omen of inevitable downfall, while others see it as a test, a lesson in understanding one's limits and knowing when to walk away. To understand Valefar, one must look beyond the idea of good or evil. He does not tempt for the sake of destruction, nor does he demand blind devotion. He is a spirit of strategy, precision, and balance. He is called upon by those who seek not just to take, but to take wisely, to choose their moments, to understand the power of alliances and the consequences of trust misplaced. His influence is not random, it is intentional, guiding those who dare to play the game of risk and reward. But where did he come from? How did Valefar become known as both a guardian of thieves and a master of deception? His forms, his legends, and his role in the great hierarchies of the Infernal reveal a story far more complex than mere crime and punishment. To truly understand him, we must explore his origins, his nature, and the power he represents. In the old grimoires, Valefar's presence is as striking as his reputation. He is described as appearing in 2 forms, a lion with a man's head and a lion with the head of a donkey. These images, though seemingly simple, reveal the complex nature of his influence. The lion is a symbol of strength, leadership, and nobility. It represents the part of Valefar that grants wisdom to those who follow him, the patron of calculated risks and well-planned strategies. This is the face seen by those who learn the true nature of trust, the art of persuasion. Those who invoke Valefar seeking skill, cunning, and mastery over deception often describe a sense of clarity, heightened awareness, and a sharpened understanding of human nature. In this aspect, Valefar is a teacher, a guide for those who move unseen. But then, there is the donkey's head, a symbol of stubbornness, misdirection, and folly. This face is not a mockery, but a warning. Those who mistake cunning for invincibility, who believe that every opportunity is meant to be taken, fall into the second aspect of Valefar. Just as a skilled thief must know when to take and when to disappear, those who invoke Valefar must understand the limits of their own ambition. The donkey's head is the lesson of overconfidence, the reminder that deception cuts both ways. This dual nature is what makes Valefar unique among spirits. He is not purely a force of theft or corruption. He is a force of understanding, of knowing when to trust and when to betray, when to act and when to wait. He does not lure his followers into failure. It is those who do not listen, those who mistake his gifts for guarantees of success, who find themselves caught in their own trap. But what exactly does Valefar teach? Is he merely a demon of crime, or does he hold deeper secrets about the nature of power itself? To answer that, we must look beyond his physical descriptions and ancient warnings and into the true philosophy behind his presence in demonology. Because those who seek his guidance often learn a truth that goes far beyond theft or trickery, a truth about the balance of power, loyalty, and deception. Valefar's domain is often simplified as one of thievery and deception, but to reduce him to just a patron of crime is to miss the greater lesson he offers. He does not simply tempt people to steal, he teaches the nature of risk, trust, and the delicate balance between power and downfall. Those who call upon him are not just seeking material gain, but rather the ability to move through the world unseen, to navigate the lines between law and lawlessness, and to understand the power of influence. One of Valefar's greatest gifts is loyalty. Unlike many spirits who thrive in isolation or raw destruction, he encourages bonds among those who operate in secrecy. He is the force that forges alliances between thieves, the understanding between those who work in the shadows, and the unspoken rules that allow the unseen world to function. His influence is present wherever trust must exist among those who defy conventional morality, whether in ancient guilds of thieves, modern-day intelligence networks, or even in the power structures of those who manipulate the system rather than break it. But loyalty under Valefar is never blind. Those who invoke him learn that trust is a double-edged sword. It is the most valuable currency in any world where secrecy and deception reign, but it is also the most fragile. One moment of misplaced faith, one moment of overconfidence, and what once felt like an unbreakable alliance can become the very thing that ensures one's fall. This is not a punishment, it is simply a reflection of the natural order. Unlike spirits that demand devotion, Valefar does not care whether one succeeds or fails. He does not set traps, he reveals them. He is the force that makes it clear when an ally's words ring false, when an opportunity is laced with danger, or when a deal should not be made. But the final choice? That belongs to the one who seeks his guidance. And if they ignore the signs, if they choose to act recklessly, the downfall is theirs alone to claim. Those who work with Valefar do not do so out of blind ambition, they do so because they understand the game. They know that every action carries risk, that every choice is a gamble, and that power is never guaranteed. Valefar does not offer easy victories, he offers clarity, cunning, and the awareness needed to survive in a world where trust is a rare and fleeting thing. But how does one call upon such a spirit? What does it mean to work with Valefar in the modern world, where theft is no longer just about stealing gold from a treasury, but about taking information, power, and influence? To understand this, we must look at the ways Valefar is invoked, the rituals that call his presence, and the lessons he offers to those who seek him. To work with Valefar is to understand the art of deception, persuasion, and foresight. He is not a spirit of reckless theft, nor does he answer to those who seek shortcuts without understanding the risks involved. Those who call upon him must be willing to think beyond material gain, because his lessons are not about what is taken, but rather about the knowledge of when to take, how to take, and when to walk away. Unlike spirits who thrive on worship and servitude, Valefar does not demand blind devotion. His presence is felt in moments of insight, in the recognition of hidden opportunities, in the awareness of who to trust and who to betray. His guidance is for those who understand the weight of their actions, not for those who seek chaos for its own sake. Ways to invoke Valefar. Working with Valefar is often done through sigil magic, meditation, and offerings that align with his nature. His sigil, as recorded in the Ars Goetia, is used to focus intent, much like any other demon of strategy and influence. However, Valefar does not respond well to the desperate or the unwise. His presence is subtle, and he works best with those who already have a plan, a path, or a purpose. Those who seek his guidance often prepare a space of focus, a quiet place where strategy can be contemplated. An offering of symbolic value, items associated with secrecy, strategy, or personal ambition. A clear intent, vague desires are useless. Valefar works best with those who already know what they need. Lessons from Valefar. Invoking Valefar does not mean inviting disaster. Instead, it means aligning with a force that understands the delicate balance between ambition and caution. His greatest lessons are: a thief who does not plan is already caught. Strategy and preparation are key. Loyalty is valuable, but never absolute. Even the closest alliances must be questioned. Greed blinds, but wisdom sees. Knowing when to stop is just as important as knowing when to act. Valefar's influence is found not only in acts of taking, but in acts of restraint. Those who work with him successfully do not simply learn how to deceive others, they learn how not to deceive themselves.
But can Valefar's presence be seen in the modern world?
Has his role truly changed, or is he still moving through society, not in the form of whispered pacts, but in the way power is taken, hidden, and controlled? To answer that, we must look beyond ritual and into the subtle ways Valefar's lessons shape the world today. The world has changed, but the nature of power has not. Once, Valefar's influence could be found in the hidden alleys of medieval cities, in the whispered plans of thieves, and in the codes of honor among those who lived outside the law. Today, his mark is no longer carved into ancient grimoires alone, it is woven into the very fabric of modern society. Deception, persuasion, and the ability to take what is needed without being caught, these are not relics of the past. They are skills that still define success and downfall in every era. From the boardrooms of corporations to the back channels of global politics, from intelligence agencies to financial schemes, the art of controlled deception and calculated risk remains unchanged. Valefar's lessons are not confined to those who seek personal gain through theft. His understanding of loyalty and strategy extends to those who navigate systems of power unseen, leaders, strategists, and those who understand that true control is rarely visible. This does not mean that every success is a result of his influence, nor does it mean that invoking Valefar guarantees wealth or power. Instead, it suggests that the lessons he teaches about trust, risk, and the nature of taking are universal truths. Valefar's greatest deception is making people believe his realm is only about taking from others. The reality is that his wisdom applies to all aspects of life where risk and reward are intertwined. He does not punish or favor, he simply reveals the rules of the game. Some who work with Valefar claim to have felt his influence in moments of clarity, in decisions that required perfect timing, and in the instinctive knowledge of when to trust and when to walk away. Others see his presence in the way society structures power, rewarding those who understand deception, punishing those who trust too blindly. Perhaps the greatest question is not whether Valefar exists, but whether his influence is a supernatural force. Every age has its thieves, not just of wealth, but of information, ideas, and influence. Every system has its hidden rules, its unseen alliances, its moments where trust is currency and betrayal is the price. So the final question is this: if Valefar still walks among us, guiding those who learn his ways, would you recognize him? What do you think? Is Valefar merely a legend, or is his presence still shaping the world today? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this exploration into the mysteries of demonology, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these forgotten stories alive. Until next time.